My name is Gwen. I'm going to be testing your deep tendon reflexes today. And when testing deep tendon reflexes, typically you would test both sides to assess the symmetry to see if the reactions are equal on both sides. And when we test deep tendon reflexes, we grade them on a scale from 0 to 5. 0 being absent, 5 being like hyperextension or reflection. But that is typically the scale. So I will be using a reflex hammer for this. And the first reflex tendon that I am going to be testing is going to be your bicep tendon. So first I'm going to take your arm and I'm going to have you rest it on your leg like this. I'm going to locate the antecubital fossa and I'm going to go just a couple centimeters above. I'm going to hold my thumb right here, wrap my arms around you, and I am going to tap my thumb with the reflex hammer. And when you do this, typically you should see the flexion of the hand, which I did see. And this tendon tests for the nerve roots at C5 and C6. So the next one that I'm going to test is going to be the tricep tendon. So I'm going to take your arm and we're going to bend it like this. I'm going to kind of cradle your arm and I'm going to locate the olecranon or the elbow. I'm going to go about 2 to 3 centimeters up and I'm going to strike with the reflex hammer. And with this, we should see the extension of the forearm, which we did. This nerve test is C7 through C8. Next is the brachioradialis, and I am going to take your wrist here. I'm going to have you rest it up against your leg, and I'm going to be looking for the stylus process. I'm going to go 2 to 3 centimeters above that, and I am going to strike the skin. And with this, we should see like a supination of the palm, which I did, and then like a little bit of a flexion of the forearm, which I do. And this tests the nerve roots at C5 through C6. And then next is the patellar tendon reflex, which I am going to find the soft spot on the knee just below the patella. And I am going to strike it with the reflex hammer, and we should see the leg kick out. Beautiful, which we did. And this tests the nerve roots at L2 through L4. And when I do that, I'm also holding the quadricep to feel the adjacent muscles moving as I test the reflex. Next is the Achilles tendon, which is on the posterior part of the heel. So I'm going to kind of cradle, and I will tap with the reflex hammer. It's kind of just right here above the heel. And with that, I will see plantar flexion of the foot, and this tests the nerve roots at S1. And finally, I will be testing the Bushinski reflex, which I, again, will cradle the foot, and you drag the pointy end of the reflex hammer, pushing somewhat a little forcefully, and going up the lateral border of the foot and across the toe pad just below the metatarsals. And with that, you will see a downward point of the toes, which you observe here. This is again testing the nerve roots at S1. And that is the normal response to the Bushinski reflex is, as an adult, is to curl the toes in. This response is considered normal starting at age 2. Before age 2, or what we call in an adult, a positive Bushinski reflex is doing that and having the toes fan outwards. And again, this is normal until about age 2. And after age 2, the toes should curl down as we saw there. And that concludes our deep tendon reflex testing.